Palworld is absolutely shattering player records, second only to the iconic PUBG, so more and more players are diving into the game to see what all the hype is about. And we're here to make the early game as easy as possible, as in this video, we break down all of the best beginner tips and tricks to make sure you hit the ground running with your Palworld playthrough. Palworld is full of adorable creatures that you can capture to build your squad with, but try not to get too emotionally invested in your pals, as our first tip involves digesting your pals in order to survive. Yes, in order to be successful, you'll need to engage in a bit of palabinism, and yes, I definitely did just make that term up. Take your beloved Lambo that you'll encounter often in Palworld. While they could be useful to bolster your squad in the early game, they are much more useful when consumed. In order to survive the first hours of your playthrough, you'll want to, unfortunately, eat your pals, with early game recipes including the likes of Lambo kebabs. Hey, don't look at me, I don't make the rules. The next tip kind of builds on the previous one, in which, to put it simply, make sure you don't die in the game. Easy, right? The reason I say this is if you do, you will drop every single resource on the spot, undoing hours of grinding in seconds. So don't let your ego get the best of you. If you know a pal is way too OP to be scrapping early on, maybe sit that one out and come back when you're at a higher level. Though the opportunities to be unalive don't stop at OP pals though, as not eating enough, freezing to death overnight due to the cold, and ironically, being too close to the fire you built to avoid the cold that ultimately sets you on fire, are all real risks that can completely deplete every single resource that you own. Now, if you plan on staying warm to avoid death overnight, you'll need wood to build the fire, and this resource is honestly one of the most important ones you'll need in the early game. Luckily, wood is extremely easy to find in the starting location, so you won't need to search far and wide. Wood is not only vital to build fires, but also to build key structures for your base. Considering survival is the main focus early game, you can never have too much wood, so make this a priority as soon as you load into the game. With this abundance of wood that you've now acquired, the next step is to start building a strong base known as a pal box. Remember how we spoke about losing all of your hard-earned resources if you happen to engage in fisticuffs with a pal way too strong? Well, building a pal box early allows you to store any items that you don't want to risk losing, or just simply don't have the inventory space to carry. Once you've built a pal box, you can open the missions, and basically, it will guide you and show you what you need to build next in order to fortify your base and take your pal box to the next level. With your base set, you'll now want to switch your attention to the fun part, catching pals. OG Pokemon lovers will know the basics. Each pal has its own type, ranging from water to neutral and even dragon types, giving you a wide variety to choose from. But the cool thing here, in the early game, Palworld actually rewards you via XP for catching 10 of each pal type. This is an extremely easy way of flying through the levels early on, and is actually one of the most fun things to do in the game. So get out there and try to catch them all. Nintendo, please don't sue us. But in all seriousness, not only does this give you a bunch of XP, but dependent on the pal types, some of them can perform different jobs around your base, providing an extra level of stability to your pal box. And the final beginner tip for Palworld, make sure you're mentally prepared for the glitches. Let's not forget, Palworld is still technically in early access, so it's not going to be a perfect game. While we've not noticed any game-breaking glitches during our playthroughs, there were some obvious visual glitches that were hilarious more than anything else, but others are reporting difficulties with trying to access co-op servers when playing with friends, which could simply be due to the unreal influx of players jumping on the Palworld hype train. As long as you set your expectations, you'll have a fun time in Palworld, and with these beginner tips, we'll quickly become a Palworld master. And to help you on your journey, why not go check out this video where we show you how to fast travel in Palworld.